Well, hello. Happy Cleansing Monday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm Michael Lasky, founder of the mastercleanse.org, Fast 15 Challenge, Master Cleansing. I'm with Coach Yovanka Sierras. Hi, Yovanka. How are you?
Hello, how are you? And hello, everybody.
Oh, hi. How did you have a nice holiday season? Are you relaxing after all that turkey or what?
Actually, I don't eat turkey, but I did eat a
Oh, yeah.
lot of potatoes and rice and beans, so that was a lot of fun.
Are you full vegan?
I am full vegan. Yay!
I was saying to my wife because Yovanka recommended two documentaries to me yesterday, What the Health and Game Changers. And they
Mhm.
both have strong vegan, if not full-on vegan concepts. But I said to my wife yesterday, I'm like, I think I might go full vegan. We're like, how can we do this? Can we do this?
Yeah, that sounds,
So good
it's
for
not
you.
easy, but it's not, once you get there, it's incredible. It's life changing, truly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. This is the first of three free live master classes that we're going to do around the concepts of fasting, the master cleanse, um, and the health benefits, how to lose weight, how you can lose weight rapidly, lose weight fast is what I like to say. And so this first one's about the three superfoods that are in the master cleanse.
Mhm.
Next Sunday, this call was scheduled for Sunday, and we pushed it to Monday. Um, and we're testing different platforms, so there's going to be a few glitches along the way about how many people can show up. But don't worry, there's going to be a replay. We'll send that out as well. And so the next one is on Sunday, and then the next one's the Wednesday after that, leading up into the start of the Fast 15 challenge, which would be the 45th group cleanse.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's 11. This is our 11th year. Um, yeah, this is our 12th year. This is the start of our 12th year. So we've had, I think, 7,000 people go through these challenges, and they've always been free. Up until now, I wanted it to create some more accountability. I wanted to create some more commitment. I wanted to have people having some skin in the game, and loose skin in the game, as it may be after you drop all that weight. But there's also still a free version. So we've created this two tracks that you can still come along for free. You'll still get some email prompts. You'll still get some information on how to do the master cleanse. You'll still get access to the group. But the Fast 15 Challenge Plus comes with daily prompts, a whole ton of material to keep you going through those daily emails, these special content pieces, daily check-ins from our coach, and then bi-weekly live coaching calls with Coach Yovanka. So with that, I want to throw it to Yovanka to say hi and introduce herself and talk a little bit
Yeah.
about how she's going to be running this show.
Yeah, and thank you, Mike. I want to reiterate to everybody, we have about 3 or 4 people here, and I'm actually monitoring the comments on the Facebook page, and I'm noticing that only you are visible. I don't think people can see me, but for those of you who can hear us and not see us, or rather can see us but not hear us, there's a little button at the bottom right side of your of the screen with a little volume, and if you click that, then you'll be able to see, to hear. You should be able to hear. So for those of you who were asking, oh, there you are, now I can see both of us.
Yeah,
Yay.
so I forgot there's a little bit of tools here. This is the first time we're using this platform. So I did have it on me the whole time. So while I was introducing Yovanka, she wasn't there. But now I can see these different tools, so I'll try to keep that in mind.
This is the magic of live broadcasting, right? Like we're here, you're seeing what's happening right in the moment, and it's fun. It keeps us all nice and alive. So
Yeah, we're not at the 30 Rock NBC studios. My
yeah.
daughter's running past me right there. Hi, say hi. Come here, quick. Come say hi to everyone really quick. Stand up. There's the camera up there. This is
Yeah.
my daughter, Grace. Okay, off you go. Have fun today, okay? Mama and Gracie are just heading out for some fun times. So yeah, I mean, we're a production team of two here, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
we're glad you all could join us. Jovanka, why don't you tell us about what we have in store to learn about today?
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been here probably maybe for the last year or year and a half. As Mike said, this community has been around for many, many years. I am a wellness coach and an herbalist and a fasting enthusiast, of course. I've been a coach for 8 years and an herbalist for the last 6. And today so I am incredibly passionate about all things cleanses and fasting, because I understand the power to heal that these practices have. And today we're going to specifically talk about the 3 superfoods that encompass what we know as the master cleanse, and that are part of the program that we call Fast 15. So the bold promise that we have for you today is that you can lose 15 pounds before the end of January with these 3 superfoods. Why is that important? Because statistically, 85% of us will fail our New Year's resolutions by the 3rd week of January. So what makes this particular product and a program interesting and different from a health point of view, we have all kinds of other reasons why this is different, which Mike will discuss later in the broadcast. But from a health standpoint, there's 2 main reasons why this is different. Number one, not only can you lose weight fast 15, but you can reboot your immune system and just get to that state of wellness by increasing autophagy, by increasing alkalinity within the body, by reducing the amount of pollutants and chemicals and carcinogens within the body. And you will learn a ton about the power of fasting.
Yeah, thanks for that great introduction, Jovanka. And yeah, the power of fasting is phenomenal. And one of the things we want to share with you today is some new studies that are coming out. In my work, being a publisher in the health space, I definitely would start calling myself a coach to a degree. I've never really actually taken people through a program, but I've developed these books and these systems and these tools, but I don't do any one-on-one coaching. I sort of started to do more and more of it in the last year with the Pain Body Cleanse. And so I'm looking forward to joining Jovanka along for the ride with this Fast 15. But some really great studies have come out recently about fasting in general. The critical mass is here about how powerful fasting is. We're slowly starting to chip away at this facade of false information that we've been giving for years and years. If you watch those 2 documentaries we just mentioned, What the Health and Game Changers, they talk a lot about those that shroud of past conceptual dogma, if you will, about what is healthy. And What the Health, I mean, it's such a great title.
Yeah.
But for so long I was fighting as people. In fact, just the other day, a woman who I know and respect, she is a nutritionist, and I told her about what I do, and she goes, "Oh, that's not good for you, right?" I'm like, well, I could show you 100 studies that say it is. And in my research, I have made a list of 100 of these studies, but we're just going to talk about this one last recent one because it talks about longer term fast and 4 days to 21 days specifically, which the Master Cleanse or the Lemonade Diet is anywhere from 3 to 13 days on the strict component of the cleanse itself. There's the Lemonade Diet, which we recommend 10 days, and then the Ease Out, which is 3 days. And on the Ease Out, it's a 3-day variation fast. I call it a super fast on the day for day 1, orange juice, day 2, liquids, day 3, solid foods, but all healthy foods, all superfoods, all very lightly cooked, if it cooked at all. And so that is a long-term fast. It's not an intermittent fast, which is what's catching fire so much right now because it's so easy to do, right? I intermittent fast constantly. I like every week I probably fast twice, maybe 3 times. I do 3-day water fast when I feel up to it. So I'll do an 18-6 intermittent fast where basically it's 1 meal a day. Sometimes you can have an eating window for 6 hours and maybe have a couple meals in there or just 1 meal in there. But basically you're fasting for 18 hours a day. So you wake up in the morning, you're fasted from sleeping. And then I go to 4 p.m. and I think, well, maybe I'll just keep going. And So I'll get through that day, and I just did a 1 day, basically a water fast, because I'll drink some herbal tea, and there's a lot of things you can take on a water fast besides water that won't break autophagy or won't break ketosis and all these other healing mechanisms that your body has innately that fasting helps you get into. So that's what we want to talk about today a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, you also, in the conversation about talking about fasting and the benefits of fasting, we were talking a couple of days ago as we were preparing for this. We were referencing a doctor, a video from this doctor. Her name is Dr. Mindy Peltz. And the video is on YouTube. We can probably put a link on that particular video, maybe at the end of the call, so that people can reference it. And really fascinating study. This doctor essentially is trying to debunk the ideas that fasts are potentially detrimental to your health. And the study showed that it could be, in fact, the exact opposite. I don't know if Mike, do you want to talk about this in detail, or do you want me to mention them?
Yeah, sure. We can. I'm just looking for the video to share.
Okay.
Dr. Mindy Peltz has a great programs herself, great content. She's a doctor, obviously committed to this. She used fasting in her transformational programs as well as some other modalities.
Right.
But this program, this study followed 1,400 participants.
Yep.
And had 4 to 21 days of fasting. They kept really close tabs on the participants, in that they were monitored for up to 10 days during the fast itself.
Right.
And so they took 200 calories a day, which is about as close to a water fast as you can imagine.
Yeah.
The Master Cleanse, each glass of lemonade has 100 calories in it, the lemonade diet. So 2 tablespoons of maple syrup is where you're getting the majority of your calories from. You can actually moderate that by saying, I'm going to have your total calorie consumption. You could say the range is 6 to 18 glasses, I like to say. 18 glasses will get you about 2,000 calories, which is just up on the edge of a calorie restricted diet. So it's you're probably not in ketosis very often with that many calories.
No.
But when you get down to 12 glasses, 10 glasses, 8 glasses, or if you want to have more glasses but not as much maple syrup, you can cut the maple syrup down to 1 tablespoon.
That's exactly
The key thing to keep in mind is, especially if you're a newbie cleanser, you're not a master cleanser yet, is do the strict Stanley Burroughs method, which is, probably 12 glasses on the nose is a good target. Keep the ingredients just the way they are. Get through this one routine without a whole lot of customizations. If you feel customizations for you, you can go to a link I'll share later to set yourself up with a clarity call with Coach Ivanka. She'll help you determine if you want to customize your cleanse. But the point is to not get too carried away initially with modifications, and get through the process, get the confidence, see the results. The results are going to give you so much confidence.
Incredible.
And there's a slippery slope. You tend to think the less calories you take, the less lemonade you take, the more weight you will lose. And that's not necessarily true. Everybody's different. We have sort of special chemistry and mind-body dynamics going on at any given time in life. So you might do it one time and lose a lot of weight. You might do it a year later and you not lose so much weight. And so there's a lot of variables that come into play. So you don't want to get hung up necessarily on the results. You want to go through the process knowing that results will happen, and really lean into the empowering aspects of it, like learning that you don't need to eat. That is a dynamic, massive mind shift, right? For most people. Like, you of course you need to consume food, and we're not saying you should starve yourself, but you can get through a lot of period of time without eating much, and it's actually really good for you. So let's talk about some of the results of that study. Do you have those up?
Yeah, sure. I have them in front of me. So this particular study, as Mike mentioned, had 1,400 subjects. They followed them for up to 21 days. And it was a wide age group, anywhere between 18 and 99 years of age. And of course, they qualified some of the patients to make sure that they took out people with potential eating disorders or kidney disease, pregnant people, people with dementia were excluded from the study. So these are people that were relatively healthy, although about 400 plus of the 1,400 said that they have pre-existing health conditions. So of the study, the results were pretty staggering. It included 100% of people in the study lost weight and reduced their blood pressure. 93% noticed an increase in physical and emotional well-being and the absence of hunger. And this is part of what Mike was talking about, how we feel we often take ourselves out and convince ourselves not to do something because we have preconceived ideas of what this is going to be like. And the fact that 93% felt relatively comfortable and felt that they weren't hungry. If I were to be 100% transparent, if you are a newbie at this, chances are the first few days are going to be a little bit more of a trial and error, but nothing will be like what might have been in your head, the ideas and the preconceived notions that you might have, or that somebody might have had, somebody with the best intentions, but perhaps not enough information or not enough knowledge. So I mentioned that about 400 people in this study had pre-existing health conditions. 84% of those people with pre-existing health conditions reported that those conditions had improved at the end of the cleanse. And less than 1% reported adverse reaction. So there's a lot of other things that this study show, including increased mental clarity, markers, inflammatory markers, and cholesterol going down, on and on and on. I mean, it just proved with a group that was relatively large, right? This wasn't just a small group. We're talking about 1,400 people. How powerful the process of cleansing became and fasting became for these people.
Yeah, there's some amazing takeaways from those stats you just informed us on. The one that really kind of hits me is less than 1% reporting adverse reactions, and as you're pointing out, you're gonna surprise yourself that it's not gonna be like you think it is. It's not the big bad boogeyman, right?
Right.
But it is a challenge, to be certain. And in the course of that study, I feel like they felt supported. I feel like they felt they had a group around them. They knew they were in a study. Knew they're in a group of 1,400 people. It's sort of like they did a FASTThe 15 for themselves, right? But they also knew that they had doctors with them along the way. So that support and dietitians and herbalists and other people who make this their business to help people change their lives through fasting. So that 1% is a massive number, and it's important to keep in mind, because when fasting, more than likely you will have some sort of detox event, a healing crisis, a healing event. Your skin might break out. You might actually get a cold. It might feel like you have a flu a bit. You could get some headaches, and these symptoms can shift even. And my understanding is actually that the detoxing process carries with it a memory from the toxifying process. There's a thing called sick in, sick out.
Right.
So whatever toxin that you got that made you sick in the moment a year ago, a month ago, when it's being released, it can actually re-trigger that energy, that neural network, that body conditioning, that epigenetic response mechanism in your body. So things can happen. Toxins are moving around your body. You can feel not great at times, but it's a journey. Like every day has a little journey in it. Every day is a little different.
Yeah.
Every day might have 2 or 3 journeys in it, where you wake up feeling like this, and in the afternoon you're like, whoa, and in the evening you're like, yes, and in the morning you're like, ugh, but that's life too. So you just need to take that, recognize that the bad moments will pass.
Absolutely.
Reframe them as and not like in the mindset of they're bad moments, but they're really just messengers or opportunities to get to know yourself a little bit better. So
for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just echoing the same thing that you're saying, this is a healing process, right? So you are going through the motions in order to get your body past that stage where there might still be dormant pathogens that are now moving into your bloodstream and trying to get out. So elimination is incredibly important. I also wanted to mention something you mentioned earlier, how amazing the process of not eating is, right? And while we might miss for a few days that action of chewing, it's also a mental and emotional exercise, right? And exercising in discipline, in understanding and learning about our emotions and what happens when we take away certain parts of the equation and allow the space for something else. So when it comes to the master cleanse eliminate diet especially, and pretty much any liquid fasts, you are bypassing the process of digestion. You instead are absorbing whatever nutrients you're taking in from the liquids that you're consuming, and that digestion process is a very taxing process to the body. It takes a lot of energy for you to break down nutrients from solids. When you're taking that out of the equation and you're only absorbing nutrients, all of that extra energy is going into the process of healing. It's allowing your body to replenish, to get rid of debris, to truly heal at a cellular level. And the benefits at the end of that cleanse are plentiful.
Yeah, and the healing process, there's a keyword, a buzzword that's emerging a lot right now. It's called autophagy.
Yeah.
Auto, like meaning self, and phagy, meaning eating. And basically what that means is when we go into ketosis, when we go into a fasted state, our body's natural healing mechanisms have tools. And one of those tools is ketosis. And your body will start breaking down all dying, diseased, wasted cells. It's the greatest chemistry set in the world. It'll actually start putting together a lot of these pieces for you, which is why you don't need to worry about protein so much when you're on the cleanse. Your body will actually be resynthesizing new proteins. But so that autophagy was the subject of on the 2016 Nobel Peace Prize, the study of this process. And since that moment, the fasting studies on autophagy have skyrocketed. People are really rallying around it because it's so effective. It works so well. You can heal an enormous amount of health conditions. Maybe if you're working on a health condition, work with a coach like Jovanka. Work with some integrative functional medical practitioners to support you on your journey as well. But just know that if you got a few little aches and pains and coughs and colds and little issues, you might see them resolve in the course of this program. You might see them get worse for a minute too, but when they do, notice that it's part of that process. And on the other side of that little peak, there is a refractory period where they actually just sort of settle and go away, and your body finds homeostasis. And it can't do that when you're hammering burgers and ice cream.
Exactly.
It just can't do it.
Right. So that autophagy that is boosted up in the middle of a cleanse or a fast, when you're slowly, will help you not only lose weight, but balance your blood sugar levels, reduce insulin resistance, get clarity, just boost your brain function. You start preventing diseases. You start increasing your energy levels. Even though you're consuming less calories, you'll alkalize your body. You reduce swelling. You reduce inflammation and pain that are all very much attached. Things like allergies start to lift. Certainly, your digestive process and your ability to eliminate efficiently becomes more apparent. You can get rid of parasites. I mean, the benefits, I can go on and talk about it for hours. That's how amazing this process is.
Well, and I thank you for pointing out the time, because we're already 30 minutes into it. We haven't talked about the core of it, but let me just have one more transition there, because you mentioned it'll slowly start helping you heal, and it will. Over the 30-day program, we spend the first week, and we're going to get into this later, but in self-care, and then there's the ease in and ease out, and then there's the lemonade diet in the middle. And at the end of the process, there's another week where we look to transition and build off of our successes. But you can lose weight fast. A lot of people want to come into here going, I want to lose weight fast. I got a wedding to go to. I got a beach body I need to get. And there's a lot of sort of superficial desires to lose weight fast. And that's created this sort of boomerang, knee-jerk, sort of politically correct dynamic around rapid weight loss. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter that you're losing weight rapidly because you're still getting all the health benefits from it.
Yeah.
It can be a little dysfunctional if you need to guard your own mental process here if you have a too much emphasis on your body image. You might want to consider how to realign your thinking if you're really, really concerned about your body image. If you have a balanced approach to your wellness, your well-being, your health, your image, your body, how you show up in the world as a result of it, you'll find much more results, and you won't end up in a yo-yo situation. You'll actually let this be more of a platform to lift you into a new level of thinking about your health. But the weight will fall off. We've had I think 150,000 subscribers over the years, some amount of 50,000 downloads, or 50,000 items sold or downloaded, 7,000 people through the group cleanse, millions of words in comments, tens of thousands of comments that we parsed through and made books of, just reams of results of, I've lost 2 pounds a day, I lost 1.5 pounds a day, I lost a pound a day. And results will vary, you know that, right? But you can literally in 14 days drop 30 pounds. It happens. It's happened to me. I've done the Master Cleanse 10 times. Happened to me too. Should you shoot for that? I don't know. Maybe not. Depends on where you're at in your life. Right. Know that it can happen. You'll probably lose 1 pound a day on average over the course of the 30 days. Maybe a little bit more if you need to. Right now, I got a good solid 10, 15 pounds on me that I could lose. There's a lot of cabbage rolls in my belly right now. So if I did the Master Cleanse right now, I know I'd get down from 195 to 185 during the course of the cleanse, and I'll stay at 185. I won't go to 175 and 65. My muscles don't waste away.
Yeah, that's a great, Mike.
Your body finds homeostasis. It finds your natural weight loss, and it keeps you there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we could talk about this all night, as Mike said, but I just wanted to quickly move us into the content to this particular broadcast, which is the 3 main superfoods that make the Master Cleanse a Master Cleanse. So the first one, we know, first of all, let me mention the 3. We're talking about fresh lemons. We are talking about cayenne pepper. We'll talk about that in a second. And maple syrup. All of them in filtered water. And that's what we talk about when we talk about the ingredients of the Master Cleanse, right? Just those 3 in water. The first one is lemons. And we know, of course, we all love lemons. You hear people all the time talking about, like, water and lemon in the morning is really great. The question is why, right? Like, why is this so incredible? And why are we using lemons versus anything else? I don't know, maybe like apple cider vinegar or whatever it is. The original, plan of this particular cleanse uses lemons for a variety of reasons. Lemons are highly antioxidant. We know that they are packed with vitamin C, but they're also packed with vitamin B2, a couple of the B vitamins, including riboflavin. They're highly alkalizing to the body. So while it's an acidic fruit, once it gets inside your body and is metabolized, it alkalizes your body. It increases circulation. It increases metabolism. It helps in the production of antibodies so that you can help you fight pathogens and increase your immunity. But I wanted to also mention the enzymes, the catalysts of life, right? We know that these are the things that cause us to stay alive. And we are born with a bank, sort of, if we want to call it that, of enzymes. And we have to consume the rest of them, especially as we get older. Our enzymes, we continuously use our enzymes to grow up and eventually to grow old. But we also get them from raw foods. So when you're doing a cleanse and you're consuming these fresh live enzymes, you stimulate the secretion of gastric juices and a lot of healing reactions in the body. Lemons also, because of their ability to alkalize the body, will help you reduce mucus. That mucus is stuff that kind of like stays all over the body and tends to be best friends with things like carcinogens and chemicals and pollutants. Lemons will help you with that. So that is the main reasons why we use lemons.
Yeah, and the lemons also, by the way, let me know if there's a change in my audio, because I just realized I didn't have my headset in and perhaps there was some feedback. Let me.
You sound great.
Okay, let me give a little poke to the people in the audience. Say, drop a question in here. Say hi. I want somebody to let me know that they're there, that they can hear us okay. And drop a question in there that you might have. So the lemon, one of the things I like to talk about the most about the lemon is the enzymes. You know, they're really amazing things. They're not alive. They're almost like viruses. But they have great little functions in the body, and they take apart and put together things. Yeah. Right. And so when we're talking about autophagy, and your body already has tons of enzymes in it, your mouth has tons of enzymes in it. The digestive process starts when you put food in your mouth and the first enzymes are secreted. And all throughout the tract, you're basically pounding this mass of food with enzymes. So it makes sense to add some enzymes to your diet. All those nutrients that Jovanka just mentioned are extremely important, but those enzymes coming with it in volume, in basically like in 10 glasses of lemonade, 2 tablespoons, you're basically drinking, you know, an 8-ounce jug of lemonade or glass of lemonade a day. That's a lot of lemon juice in the course of the day. And so, you know, there's a lot of volume of those enzymes that are coming into your system for your body to utilize. Remember, your body's not digesting, so that energy can get used to break down through autophagy all the crap, if you will, in your body. And then if you can give it a few good tools, then it can really maximize its own healing capabilities. So that's why the lemons are so critical. Other citruses can be used. Limes, Stanley Burroughs would have limes being used. You might want to stick with those too, but there's a great family of citrus that I'm really excited to explore.
Absolutely.
They all have similar properties. So let's talk about the next one. Do you have anything more to say about lemons?
The only thing I wanted to say is that if you buy lemons already in a bottle, you know, those like store-bought lemon juices, those don't count, right? They don't have the enzymes. We're talking about fresh lemon juice, not store-bought lemon juice. So super important. So let's move on and talk about cayenne pepper. One of the healers of the world is what I call cayenne. I think the native people of North America, especially the northern part of Mexico and southern part of the United States, used to call it the king of medicinal herbs. There's a number of reasons for that. Cayenne pepper is a warming herb. It has the ability to increase circulation because it has a warming action in the body. It's actually cardiac protectant, is hepatoprotectant. So it has the ability to help you protect your heart. In fact, if you give somebody cayenne pepper, somebody that's struggling in the middle of a heart attack, it'll actually stop the heart attack from happening. Another really awesome little fact to know is that if you're in the wilderness and you have hypothermia or the beginning of hypothermia, you put cayenne pepper between your socks and your shoes. Don't put it directly into your skin, but in between your socks and your shoes, it'll actually stop hypothermia. It'll actually warm up your feet and will warm up the rest of your body temporarily until you go and get help. That's how amazing this little thing is. So it's a tiny little, botanical packed with a ton of healing actions and capability. One of the other things that I love about cayenne pepper is because of its warming effect, it actually has the ability to help improve your digestive health. It helps you reduce blood sugar levels. It actually curbs your appetite, also on a temporary basis. But if you're consuming your lemonade throughout the day, you will notice that with very few exceptions, you'll feel less and less hungry as the days progress. And it's most likely the cayenne pepper helping you curb your appetite, at least on a temporary basis. And because it helps increase circulation, it allows more of that oxygenated blood through your veins. It actually acts almost as a broom to your blood vessels. So all that plaque, all that cholesterol that's being stuck in the walls of your blood vessels will get removed slowly in the presence of cayenne pepper, which will eventually lead to a reduction in inflammation, reduction in pain, and potentially the healing process.
Yeah, the cayenne, the master herb. That's what was how it was referred to by Stanley Burroughs, and I actually think that's why he called it the master cleanse in the end. Not only because you can cleanse almost any, you can get so many results with it. He always he was a therapist, a practitioner who wanted to heal and help people. And he came up with this cleanse because it could be applied to so many use cases. I see a couple of quick questions. One about hyperthyroid autoimmune disease. Certainly fasting as a protocol can be very helpful in regulating your nervous system, your digestive system, all your health functions. Autoimmune diseases can be really impacted by longer term modulated diets, including fasting. Dr. Mindy Pelz would probably be a great person to reference. I'll give Jovanka a minute to respond to that. But the question is, I don't want to make a claim to say it can cure your hyperthyroidism, but fasting, let's point at the study. Where it was 85% of people with a pre-existing condition saw an improvement. So the side effects of your hyperthyroidism will most certainly be lowered, if not fully resolved. Sometimes you'll need to put fasting into a program, modulate from different fasts for a period of time, adapt a fuller, more empowered ownership of your health, and you can turn around. This is what I will say: autoimmune diseases are reversible, 100%. All of them across the board take different approaches, but you can do it. Take that confidence to the bank, and if you find a doctor who says you can't, you need to find another doctor.
That's right.
There's another question about weightlifting. You don't want to do a lot of heavy weightlifting because you are breaking down your muscles when you're lifting heavy weights, and then to build up that muscle creates a whole new metabolic process, and it's drawing from extra proteins to rebuild those muscles. You probably don't want to put your body through that stress if you don't have to. I have heard people who have run triathlons and marathons, and I used to play hockey. I used to do hard cardio. You can do anything that would be increasing your heart rate and cardiovascular in nature. You can push yourself fairly hard, but you have to be the judge for what feels right for you and back off if it's not feeling good. A lot of people like to just be low key during the course of their cleanse.
I definitely just remember that you're the number one expert in you happens to be you. So, use your intuition and listen to your body. It's constantly talking to you. Somebody else has a question about why do I get a cold on the cleanse? You're not necessarily getting a cold. It depends on what your health history is. You might get symptoms that resemble a cold or the flu. And the reason for that is because we are exposed to hundreds of thousands of pollutants and chemicals and things that could make us very sick. And once they are inside the body has a way to protect itself by kind of like tucking them into places and letting them sit there kind of like wrapped in fat and protecting you, especially your vital organs. But when you are cleansing and you're allowing all of that extra energy to push that debris out, and part of the cleanse and the fast also includes elimination process, you're bringing all of those pollutants that are kind of tuck in back into your bloodstream, and they can, some of them can be too much at a time, and they can make you feel pretty ill. That is one of the main reasons, if not the most important reasons, why elimination is super important, right? There's no point in getting all those pollutants back into your bloodstream if we're not getting them out. So as I always say, you got to take the crap out. Just like when you're in the house and you're sweeping, you're not gonna leave the pile of dirt in the corner. You're gonna pick it up and put it in the trash. That's the same thing that you do. That's the reason why elimination is so important.
Yeah, elimination out of your body, the bowel movement. Just a quick thought on that. The saltwater flush and the laxative, the herbal laxative, are to that end, because you're not eating any solid food, and you want to create that elimination to help your body get rid of what it's churning up. And you'll be surprised what you see on day 9. It's still coming out pretty.
Oh yeah.
But elimination on eliminating the crap food. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about fasting, is just removing the crap that you're eating every day. Like that alone is half the battle. And so the Master Cleanse is designed to kind of be an aid to all those other processes, giving the ingredients, and the cayenne and the lemon being the two most profound. The next ingredient is the maple syrup, rich maple syrup, I like to say, because it's not your Aunt Jemima. It needs to be, really well processed, organic, low as processed as possible, as rich as and dark as possible, because that darkness has the nutrients in it. It's a nutritious sugar. We call it a super sugar. So the lemon is a super fruit, the cayenne is a super herb, and the maple syrup is one of a handful of super sugars out there that are as close to a whole food as possible, because that's what you want in general in your lifestyle that you're adopting, is to move towards whole, raw, low processed foods. The closer to the earth, the better, and that creates health. But Jovanka, tell us a little bit more about maple syrup and the powers that it carries with it.
Yeah, so maple syrup, like Mike said, we're talking about a type of sucrose, a type of sugar that's actually relatively low in the kind of like glycemic index. So if you were to compare things like white sugar or corn syrup, which corn syrup has something like a 90 points in the glycemic index. Honey, for example, has 55. We know that honey is also a very healthy, healing type of food. Maple syrup has even a lower range in the glycemic index. It's at 54. So it is the main reason, it's the main ingredient that we use as an energy booster. So while we are really trying to get as close as possible to that state of ketosis and that state of autophagy, allowing our bodies to utilize the extra energy to heal and replenish, we also need a little bit of energy. If we don't have that extra energy, our bodies literally go into shutdown mode. Our liver starts saying, well, I might die, so I'm just going to shut down and nothing is going to happen until I get some food in. So the maple syrup communicates with your brain and your liver and other parts of your body saying, yes, it's okay. I have a little bit of energy. I can go ahead and work out. I can go about my day. I have a little bit more mental clarity than I would if I were doing only a water-only fast. So it actually has the ability, it's a great important ingredient for that reason. I think Mike mentioned earlier about how if you consume 16 glasses of this lemonade every day, you might not hit ketosis, right? Because at that point, you're probably at 2,000 calories. And if you're an experienced cleanser like we are, or perhaps you want to, you start putting 2 tablespoons per glass and realize that you want to, just work with yourself and maybe experiment a little bit and do 1 tablespoon instead of 2, you realize that you might do not need, the 2 tablespoons, and you can get closer to that state of ketosis and that state of autophagy and get even more benefits from the cleanse.
It's a really interesting point. I want to pick up on a couple of things Jovanka mentioned, which is how you can go into shutdown mode, for lack of a better term. That generally isn't a risk of any kind unless you're in a long-term water or dry fast, and that needs to be supervised by physicians and understood in your whole life, whole person, whole body dynamic. So we're not recommending necessarily cutting out the maple syrup, but we are trying to express how the maple syrup is an interesting addition to this juice cleanse, because the lemon doesn't carry with it much calories, the cayenne pepper very little, and so by adding that caloric component, it actually creates the opportunity to play with that ketosis balance a little bit. And you might have heard ketosis being mentioned a lot in the same breath as autophagy and intermittent fasting. And it's sort of all the rage right now, hey? But so you can get testing sticks to measure your ketones. If you're trying to get into ketosis, it would be really interesting to start studying the results of Master Cleanse and the balance of that sugar and where it finds it. In fact, I feel really drawn to maybe initiate that study. Someone asked me the other day, why is there no studies on the Master Cleanse? Well, the Master Cleanse is pretty niche. And like I said, the science around it has been there forever. The process has been with us. Well, the science has been known to us for a long time. The process has been around forever. We fast instinctively as humans, as animals. It's biblical, it's profound, it just flat out works. Anyone who really looks at it knows that it works. But the science is slow to catch up. I mean, cannabis is just becoming legal. The government holds a medical patent for it, but meanwhile pretends that it has no medicinal value. There's just a lot of untruth out there, right? So you gotta do your own work and recognize that nobody really has it all, or you can't learn it all immediately. You can't say it all in one live class. So you have to take responsibility for yourself. But that sugar creates a neat dynamic to play with. And it also creates a really interesting scientifically backed biological process, which is noted in a study that I was referencing to Jovanka the other day, which is that the sugar can actually carry with it nutritional elements, and molecules and chemicals. So many of you might know that cancers love sugar. If you have cancer, fasting can help you. Master Cleanse can help you. Also seek a broader spectrum for your care if you do, and you're on your journey through cancer. But you might have heard that you can get carry with the sugar into cancer cells things like why am I drawing a blank on this?
That the sugar is actually, especially the certain medicine actually get into your
vitamin. Yeah, it's medicines too, but it's also vitamin C or something. I can't remember right offhand. But in any case, this study was showing how Jovanka, do you have that in front of you? I think it's on our WhatsApp.
Oh yes, I have it in the WhatsApp. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. And so the American Cancer Society found that when people take maple syrup in conjunction with antibiotics, they observed the same antimicrobial effect with 90% less antibiotics. So in other words, the maple syrup extract helped the antibiotics work better by increasing the permeability of the bacteria, bringing the antibiotics into the bacterial cells more efficiently. So the sugars can act as a carrier into the cells. Something that gets overlooked a lot, but isn't in fact a process in the body. And so when you have with it that in the lemonade, the cayenne pepper and the enzymes and all the goodness that we just finished talking about, think about that little package that's getting delivered into your immune system, directly into your blood flow, directly through your stomach, because there's no Big Macs and cookies to block it all. It's an internal IV that you're giving yourself every single day, all day long.
Every single day for 10 days. Mike, before we move on, I just want to very quickly answer a couple of questions that I'm seeing here. I see Liz is asking a question about the help of arthritis and achy, whether or not the program will help with arthritis and achy joints. I cannot express to you how much it will help for many reasons, right? Not only as we trim down and reduce the weight on our joints and the stress on our joints, certainly the inflammation and the pain. Remember, arthritis is another autoimmune condition. So, reducing the amounts of pollutants and things that will cause pain will definitely help. And somebody also had a question about saline water. They cannot stomach it. Senna doesn't work. And he is wondering if he can use milk of magnesia if that is that okay. And I have my views on that. Mine might be a little bit not very unorthodox, I will say, because I also have a very hard time with saline water, and sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. And so I normally take in liquid form. Remember, you don't want to take anything in solid or a pill because it will trigger the process of digestion, and we don't want to go there. So, you know, what you use depends on your needs. And whatever works for you, just make sure that it's in liquid form, and make sure that whatever you take, you're actually having 2 or 3 bowel movements the next morning.
I'd like to offer an even more unorthodox suggestion, which is to say, consider that your mindset has created a limiting belief that is preventing you from breaking through. All right. So, in other words, get over it.
Right.
And I mean that with all love and respect. And here's why. Like my daughter right now, she won't eat anything that's green or has any texture other than, like, it's just, I don't know how she got there, because as a baby she would eat everything, and now she just, if it's not white, she won't eat it. You'll give her something with some texture and she'll spit it out, and that makes her gag and it makes her throw up. Now she's created a limiting belief that when she eats something that's of texture, it makes her throw up. But it doesn't. She's just not used to it. You got to get used to it, I say to her all the time. And so I remind her that you get into a hot water. It's hot at first, and you dip your toes, slowly get in there, and then like 5 seconds later, you're like, oh, it's so good. You can train yourself. You're a highly malleable person. Your mindset, your mentality, your emotional reaction, your physiological reactions are all within your control. You're giving up your control to a belief. So if you know that medicine can help you, you can get it down. You can work on meditating while you're doing different breathing practices, work around how you consume the salt water, because the salt water flush works so well. Like it literally just flushes you out. It almost acts as a toilet flushing, like where there's just, you know, you go to the car wash and spray one of those hoses on your car, and you see all the mud come off. Like water is the last ingredients, if I may transition to that from here. And I do hope you understand. I do support your current reality. And I wanted to really quickly address the arthritis and the achy pains. On mastercleansing.com, which is our parent site, we just have the 2 cleanses right now, but we're rolling out more and more cleanses over the coming years. It takes a lot of work to pull it all together, but the one we did a year ago was the pain body cleanse. It's about chronic pain. Have a look at that, because there's some real interesting unorthodox but very powerfully and proven effective methods for reducing your pain, your inflammation, your symptoms, including arthritis. In the pain body cleanse, there's a lot of mindset stuff. Watch for our coming cleanse called the mind body cleanse, where you can work on cleansing out these old beliefs that you're holding on to. So empower yourself. You can do it. So water is the universal solvent. It's the most powerful solvent in the world. If you want to blast something off a wall, you shoot water at it. It's more powerful than diamonds and sand. It's just amazing. And then in little drops, it's so powerful. In huge volumes, it's so powerful. It's so dynamic in that it can be a gas and a solid and a liquid. Nothing else can do that. And so the pure water, Yovanka mentioned filtered, which is great, but pure spring water is probably the best if you can get it. Some people argue for distilled water. That's a whole other discussion, but filtered, distilled, and pure spring water are good choices. You don't want to get right out of the tap if at all possible.
Oh, God.
If you're going to filter and your filter takes out 0 water like mine does, you might want to remineralize your water. There's a big volume of information around what to do with water, so I don't want to get too far into that. But that's the last ingredient, and I think we're getting pretty short on time.
Yeah, we're past the hour, yeah.
So I'll just say during the master cleanse, 8 to 16 glasses of water, 6 to 18 glasses of water of lemonade. But you can also double your water intake. So what I do is generally I'll make a glass of lemonade, 8 ounces or so. I'll drink it, and I'll have another 8 ounces of water, and then I'll sip on that, wash my mouth out, get the taste down. And so I end up drinking 36 glasses of water basically. So you're super hydrated. The water alone, fast number 1 will make you healthier immediately. adding a ton of water to your diet will make you healthy immediately. Going into ketosis, autophagy, and the benefits of fasting with these 3 superfoods makes this the master cleanse, and why it's so powerful and at the center of most of the fast and cleanse and super fast that we talk about. So what you should do next, if you haven't already, is go sign up for the group cleanse challenge. It starts on the 10th, but you can start earlier or later if you want, but you're going to get the email sequences. You're going to get some materials that'll help your journey. Consider paying for the paid program, because there's a certain amount of accountability, there's a certain amount of pressure that comes from the fact that you paid for something. You're more likely to open that email from us. You're more likely to show up for the coaching calls. You're more likely to follow through. And what we want you to do is succeed. We want to see you transform in what you're trying to accomplish. And so please, for $47, can you imagine, like, just think of how much money you're saving by not eating. You're actually going to come out ahead in the hundreds of dollars, quite frankly. The Master Cleanse kit that we can ship you for $100, cheaper than anyone else in the world, comes with a discount code when signing up for the FASTThe. It's basically $100 for the week. How many of you can say you spend $100 in a week's worth of food? Like, that's 2 nights out, right?
Like, exactly.
If that, it depends on how big your family is. So it's worth the investment. This is the only time we're going to offer at $47. It's going to be $97 regularly. Plus, we have an ambassador program. You can sign up. You get a special link. You can share it with your friends. In just 2 referrals, you'll get your entry fee back. So you get 50% of anyone that you refer. Their $47 entry fee, you get 50% of that back. And we have some great prizes. So we're tracking what everybody does in the community, how many emails they open and links they clicked and webinars they show up for, and a whole bunch of other things. And we're kind of just tracking that and using the referrals as a multiplier. And we're going to award 3 great prizes all around mastering, cleansing, and bettering your health. So there's a lot of value in joining this program. You're going to get an email every day that's really well thought out, a ton of great new content that we're building for you. Ivanka's going to be on coaching calls with you. Sundays and Wednesdays.
And this is what makes the difference. Remember at the very beginning, I was telling you that there's all these health benefits that make a difference. And that's from a health point of view, but from a community and accountability point of view, having a group where you not only get to get your questions answered and get to educate yourself about the process, and become, brighter and more aware at the end of the month, and certainly prevent becoming that part of that 85% of people that actually fail on their New Year's resolutions. There's many benefits to this. Mike and I are going to be part of it. I'm going to be doing it alongside you. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it could be, I know it's going to be transformational to all of us.
Yeah, so don't delay. Go do it right now. If you're watching the replay, there's a link probably just below here. If you're getting this email, go sign up. We're only 12 days away from the start. So it's a 30-day challenge, but there's a soft launch to it. So the first 7 days is self-care week. We'll walk you through what I call the everybody cleanse. So we're going to give you a few challenges each day to consider, like meditative practices, emotional well-being practices, connecting to your environment and your community and your social network. These are all really powerful components that help you reach your higher self, figuratively and literally. and so that's the first week. And then we do a 3-day ease in, where it's just a super fast of removing the food, and then getting a little bit more liquefied, and then getting more mono food based. That's a 3-day optional transition into the lemonade diet. Now we do 10 days on the lemonade, and we do a 3 days ease out, where we gradually introduce more complex foods. And then 7 days after is all about leveraging your newfound power in the tools of fasting and what you can do next. You can also consider at that point extending your fast or adding what I call super fast onto it. So you get to the point where you have these tools in your toolbox where you're like, okay, I can do 18-6, I can do a water fast, I could do 3 more days of lemonade. So you can start looking out and go, you know what, I feel great, but I wouldn't mind eating a little bit. So I'm going to transition, I'm going to ease out, and then I'm going to do 1 day of crap fast, which just means eat whatever you want, but no packaged, no created, no artificial, no refined, no processed foods. Get them out of your life for that day, and then go to 18-6 the next day, and then go back to no crap fast. And maybe you want to throw in a crapful day in there too, just to give yourself some reminders of your old habits. But this is all about changing the habit of your eating, the habit of your believing, the habit of your body's own adaptive responses to having so much toxic load for so many months and years. So don't delay, click the link. You're going to thank us for it.
You'll see 2 different links. It doesn't matter. They'll get you wherever you need to be regardless.
Yeah, and remember, there's a free version too. So if you can't afford the $47, come along for the ride. You'll still get some emails as well. You can still be in the group and asking questions, but you're going to miss out on the great coaching experiences with Jovanka. And if you want to get a clarity call with Jovanka, you can go to the mastercleanse.org/fast/clarity. I'm going to put that link in here as well. And that'll get you a 15-minute call with Jovanka. And what she's going to do on that call is, and you should pre-qualify yourself, and here's how you should. You want to ask yourself, do I need to decide if this is right for me? Can I cleanse? Can I do it? Am I in the right situation? What are, a lot of people are really scared. Most people kind of go, oh yeah, I need this. Oh yeah, it'll work. It's good. I'm going. Or they might know all that and just say, it's not for me. I got a thing going on right now. Next month would be better. Then just put it aside, come back to it. We do them quarterly, so you have another opportunity in the spring. But the other reason why you might want some coaching advice from Jovanka is to customize your cleanse. Perhaps you're a bit of a master cleanser already, and you want to think about how you can really expand your results. Or maybe this is for you and you want to address certain health issues that you're dealing with, and therefore you might want to customize your cleanse as well. It would be a great opportunity to speak to Jovanka, and it's completely free. Yeah. So that's it, everyone. With that, I'm going to sign off because we're an hour in and I want to respect your time. It's dinner time for most people, either before or during or after. There will be a replay up, and we hope to see you on the next call a week from now, where we'll be talking about, it's entitled Lose Weight Fast. We'll be talking more about fasting in general and how rapid weight loss can be a powerful transformation vehicle. And there's a special secret subject that we're going to be stacking in there. So watch your email inboxes. If you don't if you're not on the list, go to the link in the chat to get on the group, so you make sure you get those emails. All right.
Bring your friends over. I can't wait to see you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining us. Happy cleansing. Bye for now.
Bye.